What's up, folks? Welcome to my Sketchy Goodness with the amazing Keith Grachow. Keith, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good. A little nervous. It's been a while. We've, due to some unforeseen circumstances, some busyness, we haven't done one of these in a bit, and I'm nervous.
Because it's been maybe it's excitement.
Yeah. I got knock some of that rust off. Getting to see you again, getting to talk again. It's always a good time. Um, yeah, and to the folks out there in YouTube land, or perhaps you're joining us on Twitch, welcome. I hope you enjoy. I hope you're ready. Should you have questions come to mind, do feel free to drop them in chat, and we will see them. We'll post them on the screen and answer any you might have, or of course, comments are always welcome as well. And Keith, do you know what you're sketching today?
I just figured it out a moment ago. I'm gonna
Love
start
it.
to share my screen here. There we go. You see it okay?
Yep, there we go. Oh, I love the black background. Yeah. Right on. Okay.
How have you been doing?
Overall good. Been very social lately, which is nice. Playing a lot of Magic the Gathering, and having some friends over fairly frequently, which is a nice change of pace. I'm usually a fairly in-person wise solitary person. Of course, doing stuff like this kind of prevents me from being a hermit, but yeah, it's been good. How about you?
As we've chatted online, I've been doing a lot of shows, coming off of 2 weekends in a row of weekend-long shows with my friend Sarah Furlong, who I did a comic called Cushing County with. So we were kind of premiering that and doing like book shows, which are a little bit more focused on like prose versus comics, but there's for sure people that are into comic books there. So that was fun to kind of meet some new people and to also see some people haven't seen for a year or two. So Word on the Street and Telling Tales are the shows I did.
Hell yeah! What's the? Because I truthfully I haven't been to one, although I feel like definitely Word on the Street is something I should go to. What's the difference in I guess feel from the exhibitor end of the people that go to, say, a book show compared to Comic Con?
Well, both of them were outdoors. That's number one. So that changes like the whole dynamic of what you're going to be doing. Right, you're kind of at the whim of the weather a bit.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it was very nice both weekends, so we lucked out in that way. And because they are focused on like prose and like more on the writing side than on the art side for a lot of these shows, they well, the Word on the Street is more like just authors, right? They do have a kid section, but it's also mixed with authors. And so they don't really have like a comic book section per se. It's more of like a bunch of tents where they have people who are some comic book creators, and then some children's book, some people that are like little indie publishers. They had indie comics like Drawn and Quarterly there.
Cool.
So they have like Owl Magazine, which is a kids magazine, and it's a very well known show. It's moved again this year. It's usually like every couple of years they seem to move the location. So
Hmm.
this time they moved to King and Duncan from Queen's Circle. So a little bit of a different vibe than what we've been used to, and so there's always some like logistical issues they've got to work out because they're trying something new. But for the most part, for me at least, it was pretty good. As I said, people that I knew were there looking for what I've been working on, and then you had some new people, and then there were people that had heard of me but hadn't gotten anything from me before. So it was nice. It was really nice to work on the street. And then telling tales is just kids, and it's
Oh,
not
cool.
complex. It's like all different events for kids, like singing and crafts and definitely book focused, but not that's not all it's about. And so they
Huh.
telling tales had, when it first started like 5 years ago, when I had looked into it initially, I was not, because of what they were doing, which was essentially just having people who are authors speaking, and you had to apply to do that, and they were really looking for like children's book writers, not so much
Interesting.
illustrators.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess I could have kind of qualified for that, but because they also, if you didn't do that, then you had to apply to be like a publisher and had to have like a certain amount of books that you had to present. And
Oh,
it
okay.
would cost a lot of money. So like it just didn't make any sense for me to do telling tales to even apply for it. So I hadn't really looked at it for a while. And then I guess last year they opened it up to like exhibitors just having like a table and like a tent, which is a more reasonable scenario. And that's Sarah did it last year, and she said she had done pretty well. So
Cool.
this year, I was like, okay, well, I'll try it. I'll see what it's like, and it was about the same as Word on the Street, maybe not as busy
Okay.
in some ways, but it was also um, like more, because it was more kid focused. There were more. I think there's more opportunities for me to do like workshops and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely feel like, especially with some of the characters I've seen you draw, like you could absolutely just enthrall these kids and teach them how to do sketching and how to sort of be free to just do their thing. It's awesome. Um, and I imagine your book you've done with your mom, Summer on the Swing, uh, that ought to be something you can talk about there and have showcased. Or is that in a state of readiness for that?
It's in an ash can form, so I could talk about it because there's a lot of people that are a lot of teachers and kids that are wanting to learn about graphic novels. So I could for sure do something with that, or the Christian County, or any of the children's books, or any of the comic books I've created, would be perfectly suitable to talk about with the kids. Um, but basically, it was like just a good vibe show, and the RBG is really cool. I'd never been there before. It's in Burlington, so it's like the Royal Botanical Gardens, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, so it was free if you, as long as you were to um, register, you can get in for free with your kids. But I'd heard that it was very difficult to find parking, so a lot of people decided just to forego it.
Oh,
Right.
that's fair. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I did like the. Oh God, where was it? In the Scarborough area. I know there's another one, and I find it quite pretty. So I imagine the one there would have been just as nice.
RB, oh, the
Yeah,
botanical
the
gardens.
gardens.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Um, Keith. All right, I gotta ask. It started off, and my brain was like, train, and I'm like, I'm in. And now I'm seeing a rocket ship. Now I'm like, rocket ship train. Am I on the ball here, or am I missing it?
Here I'm gonna, could be kind of considered that. It's more of, it's like a spaceship of some sort for sure.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I'm liking the sphere. I'm imagining it has variable geometry, as certain sci-fi shows might call it.
Yeah, it's like imagine something that you want to like either break up debris or to be able to use as a like a gravitational thing, right? So it's kind of like a junk collector,
Oh, very cool.
right?
Okay. Is this from a show, a book, something you've seen or ingested recently, or is this just popped into your head?
No, this is something that I'm working on. So it's
Oh, right on. Okay.
yeah, Howard Wong and I have a comic book series that we've been working on for the last couple of years. So I figured I would. I was drawing it today, so I was like, well, maybe I'll do it again because it's kind of. But I'll do it in reverse. See if I can um, do it from black to white versus from white to black.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So
Actually, that's sort of makes me think of something, and I'm curious. I know that when, say, I'm writing something, sometimes I like to sit down and I will write, say, a conversation between two people. You could see how creative I am, and I kind of I'll write it from one perspective, and then I will kind of redo it in the opposite perspective, and then sort of pick what I like most. When it comes to drawing, and sort of flipping between the black ink on white canvas and then white ink on black canvas, um, do you find redrawing like that? What does it do for you to flip it and invert it?
I mean, it depends on I think what the scene is going to be, right? So if it's like a night scene and you're just like, I don't want to have to fill it in with black because I know it's going to be at night, like the space scene here, then of course you would maybe want to start with all the black and just etch it out, right?
Hmm.
I think that it for sure doing it this way just kind of um, makes me think more about like the what parts of this are going to be in light, right? Where I think when you have something that is so this starts off with the assumption that it's in shadow,
Yeah.
right? So in that situation, then you go, okay, well, if it's already in shadow, then what parts of it are we going to see in light? Uh, and what parts of it do we need to
Mm.
um, outline because otherwise people are going to be like, what am I looking at here? I have no idea what this is. Whereas when you do it from white to like just when you have a white page and you're adding lines, um, I think you're more likely to add more lines than you need because you
Ooh.
don't know where you need to stop. Like you're it's a little bit, I think, because of the possibilities you can just keep on adding rendering and all that stuff.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like you're almost starting when you're starting with black, you when you start drawing stuff out, you should see pretty quickly the minimum amount of lines you need to do.
Yeah.
With when it's white, you don't know. A lot of times you don't know. It's just it's
Oh.
hard to see it as much. It's more of a, I think it takes more of a skill like Alex Toth had to be able to, because you need to figure out um, the right lines to use and all that kind of stuff. I mean, in this situation, I feel like um, my adding and erasing and stuff like that, uh, you can see pretty quickly whether it's working or not, right? So
Hmm.
whereas with something that you draw, it's with when you're starting with white to black, there's just so many different ways you can go about like rendering it, and is it, what time of day is it, and all that kind of stuff, right? So there's, I think, more possibilities, and that's where it becomes a little bit more difficult to figure out, like, when to stop rendering.
Yeah. Well, like that almost reminds me of a video clip I saw where a a creator was working with Mike Mignola, who was doing Hellboy at the time, and he would draw, pencil on paper. He would go through, do all of this crazy line work, and then when he was going to do his inks, I guess he would turn around and just go, "Cool," and like with the most brutal giant brush ever, just be like, "And all of that needs to be black." And so he would have drawn all of the stuff, and he's just gone because it's inked now to make that heavy, like insane shadow. And yeah, I guess it makes you kind of think about, especially when the way you're doing this. Yeah, what is the actual necessary shape?
I don't know if he does that still. I don't know if Mignola needs to, but let's say he does. The whole idea of him rendering it all in pencil with all that line is so he can decide when he inks it what he needs to have stay, what he needs to have go. It helps him to imagine it, and he's using it as a reference, right? He's using his own art as a reference to kind of decide, like, he's already thought about it. He's already kind of seen it in his head probably, and now it's down on paper, and he can go, okay, yeah, this is working. I can just fill all this in with black. And there's there's a, like, he may have gotten to a point where he doesn't even need to do that anymore, where he's figured out, like, the shapes and symbols to use that are going to work to fill in the light and the dark. But that's even a step further from, what he may have done in the past, which is really, really render it. Or, another possibility is that, most likely he's, this is what I've heard with him, is that he'll, like, look at something. He may not even, it may just be like in his sketchbook, and he'll just start to, like, work through it, figure out, like, what if I erase this? What is this going to look like? What if I add that? And then when he's getting to then he may, when he does, like, a finished illustration, because he's already thought about it and drawn it, then he just goes to the, almost like the outlines in pencil, and just puts in all the ink. So it's just a, more of a placement for it than anything. What we're seeing, though, is, oh my God, it's magic. He just knew how to do it by, like, drawing it as if it was already there. But he may have worked it out, and it may have been because I've heard that the things that those such careful placement in blacks, he's thought about it, in a lot of he may have actually, like, there may be, like, pages and pages of him trying to figure it out.
Oh wow.
And so there, by the time, or lots of erasing or whatever, and so by the time he goes to, like, a more finished pencil, we're seeing we're not seeing all the, like, failure. We're just seeing all the successes.
Yeah, right? You're not seeing all the faded lines and the dented paper from him drawing and redrawing and erasing and redrawing. You're just seeing heavy black ink, defined, well shaped, cool.
Yeah, exactly. And like, one of the things that a lot of people, this is what I tell a lot of people that ask about drawing and stuff like that. It's that, what you're seeing when they say, oh, I can't even draw, like, to save my life or whatever. I'm like, you can, you're only seeing all of the steps that I've erased behind me, and you're seeing just, like, the magical thing. But if you knew all the steps that I had to take to get there, you would go, oh, I could probably do that too, right? Like, it's just a lot of, erasing and adding and subtracting, and playing around, and knowing, like, the process, so that you can understand. A lot of people want to get to, like, they think, oh, I just get to the finished stuff and that's it, and then they can't do it, and they get frustrated, and they're like, I don't want to do this. And if you learned how to do like all the steps that lead up to it, you would probably, first of all, I think it'd be more enjoyable because
Yeah.
you're seeing, you're taking those little baby steps to get to the finished thing, and those little baby steps are doable, right?
Yep.
It's what I teach. It's what I teach my students all the time when they're like, like, wow, this is a lot. I'm like, but I'm giving it to you in little bite-sized pieces so that you can figure out like how to do the more simple things first, and then add on to those simple things that are more complex, and then keep on adding to that till you can get to something that's a finished illustration, and people looking at it will go, whoa, look at all that, that's magic. And you'd be like, if you only knew the hours it took me to get to that, right?
Yeah. 100%. And I've heard it now so many different ways and so many different times. Like, I think my favorite way I've heard it put, and it's the same sort of sentiment, is basically, if you want to be a professional artist, don't get good at drawing like a big cool splash page. Get good at drawing the boring stuff, and like just do it again and again and again and again,
Yeah.
and draw every day. Because yeah, like that's what it takes, and I think it's amazing. I love that you're using this tool so much, and it's coming out with such a cool effect.
Yeah. Well, I've been playing around with it, so it's just kind of, there's all different kinds of uses for this the zip tone that you can do. Works really well in this with the spaceships.
Oh, definitely. How has that brush evolved? Like to get a little crunchy with the details about Photoshop and the brushes that you're using and all that. So you started with a custom brush. You figured out how to do that. Um, how has your use of it evolved since a couple months back when we sort of figured out you could?
I still feel like I'm like I haven't had any like huge breakthrough moments with it. Like I'm still trying to figure out like how to approach it. Like I guess the bigger thing is the fact that I can like go like this and go, I'm going to make this 150 or 125 or 100 or 50 or so. I do it in increments of like 25, right? So, and that way, when I kind of, I'm getting more familiar with like what it looks like to have it at a smaller size or have it at a bigger size. And then also to be able to like take it, and like one of the things that I've been doing with it, maybe I showed this to you with the, when I was working on the Cushing County, I'll do it this way. Here we go. Yeah, so then if I were to want this to look like it was in perspective, now I can do that with this kind of texture, and now it has a real kind of cool effect to it, right? And so those are some of the things that I've learned how to do with it. I'm still trying to figure out like how much I want to use it to render, to kind of do the thing I'm trying not to do, because
Okay.
the whole idea of like using them, I think, is they're to create like textures. They're to create like another form of value, like a light and dark, so you can render, creating like form and stuff. But there's other ways to do that as well that I've learned how to get good at, and using the halftones really for me is just like it's a quicker way of suggesting form. And so that's where I'm kind of having the I'm trying to save time so that if I'm working in this like black and white, that I'm not spending so much time creating form that I couldn't just do it the normal way I normally do it, which is just using like building layer upon layer of different value to make it feel like it has form. So that's where I think I'm haven't decided what my rules are, so that when I'm using it, I'm not spending too much time rendering.
Yeah.
And it could very easily, like, you could very easily do that with something, because if I were to, like, just start with the 150 and go like this, and then you go into 100, and you can see I can keep on building, right? It fills in,
Oh.
right? And then go to 75. I'm building even more, and now what I'm saying, like, so I could make this like, I can really go into it with a lot of detail, and I just don't know how far I want to go with it, because that's all that time that I'm spending doing it, right? And so um, I'll get there. I'll figure it out. Like, I'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, this looks good. I don't have to like noodle around with this anymore. Um, so yeah, for right now, for me, it's just like I'm just figuring out different ways I can use it as a tool, whether it's just like to create like texture, or to create another thing you can do. Like here, I'm creating like effects, kind of like like it feels like energy is coming off of it, right? So
Yeah.
it's creating an effect, um, and then of course I'm using it as well in this to create like light, like a different value of light and dark, or make it have like a different form to it,
Hmm.
um, without uh, putting too much time rendering that form,
Yeah.
right?
Like
And
it,
knowing the size dot to use for, like, so that's the bigger thing. If something's really takes up, if it's closer to you, the using those bigger dots will make it feel like it's
yeah.
it fits, as opposed to if you make the dots really small that are close up, then it may start to lose some of the effect of the rendering. So again, it's all
Oh.
different things that, like, and again, you could use really small dots to, like, using really small dots makes it um, feel like it's filling in more, right?
Hmm.
And then here's the thing: when you zoom out and you go to the actual size people may see it at, it may no longer have that effect, right? So you have to be kind of careful as to, like, when you want to use. I still like seeing the dots a bit. There's something kind of cool about it, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it's definitely got that sort of. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna make myself feel old, but it has that retro comics feel, just from the
Hmm.
way they used to have to print them. But yeah, like the way you were talking about earlier, I thought it was fascinating that you're basically using it as a substitute to, um, I hope I got the word right, stippling, or cross hatching,
Yeah.
which is a thing I very much love. I find art with cross hatching in it awesome. Um, like some of Gerhard's art is fabulous. The buildings he
Oh yeah,
does.
for sure.
But yeah, big fan. Like I like cross hatching. Yeah, the way that you're basically sort of substituting them out, but using what feels very much so like comic book retro feel to it. I find that interesting. Okay, what do we got? What are we cooking, Keith? What do we cook? Oh, all right, speed lines.
So these are like tools you can use to, like, make something feel, like I'm using um, just the uh, these like lines to kind of give a sense of how fast this thing is going, right? And then I'm creating them in different layers to kind of make it feel like what makes it feel, uh, what works, what doesn't work, right? But it's
Hmm.
done in a way that, like, I guess I can fill the whole thing with the speed lines if I want, but I like the idea of making um, you know kind of different pattern, right? Just it's a little bit more interesting. So I haven't decided on this one, like, what feels better, um, but it's that right there.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah,
See,
that works real good.
when you're not sure what it is until you see it, and then you're like, oh, well, yeah, that works.
Yeah, that slight obscuring of the object is just a little fine tuned to it that makes it look sweet.
All right. So now it has a kind of a feel of like being really, really just going really fast.
Thank God our eyes don't process things as optimally as they could, because otherwise stuff like this would not work. I appreciate not everyone might get that. Things like blurring when you're looking around or from motion, it's because your eye can't catch the detail quick enough, or maybe it's your
Yeah.
eye to the brain makes this stuff work. It's why and Keith, you've heard me say this before. That's why I love art and comic art. I find that the lie of art to make my brain tricked into seeing something is amazing. Yeah.
Well, that's how like magicians operate, right? Because they know that people, they have only the ability to focus on one thing. We think we can multitask. And
No, we can't.
and I think they've done studies where they see that people when they're multitasking, really what they're doing is for a split second they're taking their attention off of one thing and putting it onto another, and then going back to that other thing. So technically, they're not paying attention for that very quick moment on that one thing they're doing. But when you do something, let's say like you're taking down notes and talking to somebody, like what I'm doing right now, I'm probably like very quickly like facilitating between the two, and therefore it feels like it's a seamless thing. But it's probably more likely that I'm thinking about one thing and then very quickly thinking about that other thing. And if you're good at taking like somebody's attention and then doing something with your other hand, and then all of a sudden it looks like like somehow you magically like took somebody's watch off, where really you're just. So yeah, the way that our brain works is we fill in information and all that stuff, so that magicians are able to like make things look magical, because like otherwise it would, like, I think our brains would, the wires in our brains would just like over like fry. Like if we actually if there's some kind of disease or some kind of like a thing with somebody's brain doesn't have that ability to fill in the blanks, they would probably go crazy. Like that person would probably, they wouldn't be able to because the only way that we can, like, it's kind of like when you see a movie that has too many frames in like the Guillermo del Toro Hobbit movies, where it was like double the frame rate. It was really it was hard for the eye because it was actually filling in too much information, and there was something about that was really it's just very discerning to the brain. That's why we need to that's why that frame rate that we're used to, where we're actually, if you look at it, we're actually filling in a lot of the blanks, right? When there's a car chase, one of the problems with some of the movies that are now using CGI, or maybe they've corrected this a bit, but is the fact that you can see everything very clearly, and it's hard, and it's too much, right? And so they've learned how to like blur CGI so it feels like you're seeing things the way that the human can really focus. And that's, so I guess to your point, that's just a different way of saying, like, when you're doing comic books, it's a static image, and we're using those tricks that are used within like the blurring of things. We have to figure out ways to make that come across, because we know that the eye will do that for you. It'll make it feel like it's moving quickly.
Right? Oh yeah, like that. And for anyone who needs sort of like a better visual example of this, the best one I have is within the last 10 years. okay, maybe this is a bad example because of the time, but within the last 10 years, if you've ever walked through like a Best Buy or a Walmart, maybe even Costco, and they've been playing movies on them, but in like the ultra 4K, super movies, super TV screens or whatever. Um, and like things move, but it's just way too crisp and it just
Mhm.
feels wrong. Um, that's too much information. And like Keith said, like we need that little bit of blurring because our eyes can't even keep up with it. Um, Interestingly, there was a video game. I mean, I'm sure a few have done it now, but I saw it first in the video game Tekken 7, I think, where the game could render. It's a fighting game, so the game could render the characters fighting with no blur, so you could see every movement perfectly.
Mhm.
Which I'm sure, like the hardcore gamers who want like the perfect hitbox and they have to know exactly where the pixel is to be pixel perfect and all that stuff happens. But to see that, right, the brain's like, nah, turn on the blur, make it look realistic. Because yeah, like our brain needs it, I think, because otherwise it's just too much.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that, if you watch like I remember when TV shows were like going from the regular to like 4K or 2K, like when TV shows had to start filming in higher definition,
Yes, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
it took a while for your eyes to get used to it. Because I always thought when that first started happening and TVs were able to actually, so TV shows or movies would start filming in high definition, but not every TV was able to play it in that way. So you wouldn't notice it. And until you got that TV that can do high definition, all of a sudden you're going, my God, why does it feel like I'm looking at like a live telecast, right?
Yeah.
It was a really weird kind of feeling for the eyes. And now you've gotten so used to it that it doesn't, it's weird to watch. Like I'm rewatching Scrubs right now, and that was
Oh,
filmed in regular whatever,
film
and
or whatever. Yeah, where they got the
you can
grain and
tell like
everything.
there's like a difference in the quality. Everything's a little bit softer, and obviously people didn't have to wear the same kind of makeup and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's interesting to go back to some of that stuff and how different it looks. There may come a time, I guess, with AI that it could actually take, extrapolate or interpret like what to make some of those like older
Yeah,
things make them feel a little bit more like high definition.
yeah. Do
Um,
the AI upscaling. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, maybe that's a good way to use it, but if there's any good way to use it in that way, but um, yeah. Uh, it is interesting to how, so now we've gotten used to being able to watch something in such high definition, although watching The Hobbit is still like the original way that they had it was still really trippy. Like
Oh,
it
I
just, do
will have to go find this.
you know what I'm talking about? Did you ever see it?
No, like you're talking about the ones that like the 2012 one that Peter Jackson did, correct?
Yes.
But I know
Not, yeah, I was talking
Guillermo
about
was
Guillermo del Toro, Peter Jackson. Yeah.
well, I know Guillermo was originally attached to it,
Right. That's where
and
I'm
then
confusing it. I just read
yeah,
that. Yeah. Yes, I'm talking about the Peter Jackson one, and it was. I remember watching. I think at the time they had started pulling it from the theaters because people were like not able to. They had. I think they had to either they uh, had it filmed in or they had to like uh, um, get the frame rate back to like whatever 32 or whatever it was.
that's wild. Okay,
But I remember watching, I think I saw like online, they had like some clips from what it looked like with I think it's like 64 frames per second or 60, whatever it is, 60 frames. And it's weird because you can see everything. And that's the problem. Like to your point, there was no blur. There's no, everybody, the way everything moves, you can see everything all at the same time, all, and it's all this fantastical stuff, right? Because it's a land that doesn't exist really. So
yeah,
it's just very it's off-putting because our eyes don't even do that. Our eyes have a cone of focus, and everything else kind of starts to soften until it becomes a blur. Right? But
Yeah.
that was all clear, and it was just weird. It's very weird to look at. So you never saw that?
No, I'm actively looking it up. Because I am fascinated by stuff like this.
Yeah, I don't know. Nowadays you could watch it and it would be.
Oh,
Did you find it?
I did. No, it's wrong.
You're watching it?
Yes. Oh, no. There's too much detail. It's so like, so I'm looking at the part. It's from the third movie, the Battle of the Five Armies, where they've got the elves outside of the mountain. They've got the dwarf army, and they're panning through the dwarf army. But I'm so used to like normal where like the edges of it will blur, and you'll see the detailed stuff of what you're focused on. Oh no, yeah, no. With that version, it's just everything is perfectly. No matter where you're looking, it is perfectly in focus. So your eye doesn't know where to attend to. I think
Yeah.
it's just like everything is good to see. So your eye's not like I need to go looking here because it's in detail. It's like whatever you want to look at, just go nuts. Like enjoy.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the story that's going on. Don't worry about where the camera's aimed. That thing in the corner that you could perfectly see and read every little letter on. Yeah, you're fine. Read it. That's so. I mean, I feel like they must have been experimenting with that to be like, hey, we can do this. Let's try it, and then gone, oopsie, because no.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think that it's kind of like the same thing when Game of Thrones and like I can't remember what season, the 6th or 7th season, where everything felt really dark, and they were using, I think they were using like was it like 3D or something that they had like I think they had made it for 3D TVs or something like that, and so it was just everything was like really dark. So you know how like 3D, if they don't balance things correctly, everything feels really dark with 3D.
Mm-hmm.
And
they've
so
done that with the whole.
Yeah, and so I think they did it in 3D, and their whole when people were watching it and complaining, and myself included, going, I can't tell what's happening.
Yeah.
Their whole thing was, yeah, but people are going to have 3D TVs, so and it's like, yeah, there may be a small market of people that do, but you don't know if more people are going to get 3D TVs in the future. But right now, majority of people don't have 3D TVs, and it actually came to be that most people still don't have 3D TVs, right? Yeah. Even though it's a decade later, I'm sure the technology has gotten better, but most people don't have like the TV that has a 3D capability, or if they do, they don't use it, right? So
yeah,
it obviously is that, but they're, instead of just saying, well, we thought it would, this was something that we tried and it didn't work out. They were like defending it, and it just came off as being even worse, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, like there's a reason why they haven't done any other movies like what Peter Jackson did, right? Because it's very off-putting.
Oh yeah, that's
right?
fascinating. Yeah, like it's wrong. Folks out there on YouTube land, you can just Google, literally start typing in The Hobbit high, and frame rate will fill in. I mean, if you want to watch The Hobbit while high, get inebriated on your choice of substance, I suppose. But high frame rate Hobbit, and it's just pull up a clip. It's weird. And regarding the 3D TV thing, I had a friend who got one, not for this 3D aspect, because as cool as that would be, but I guess what they came with 3D glasses. But the cool thing was it had a mode where you could, for one person's perspective with the glasses, see one thing, like one program, and then the person without could see the other program, like a secondary program. So my buddy could play his PlayStation on the TV while his partner sitting immediately beside him could watch a television show, and he would have headphones on, and it zero interference. Freaky cool technology. I'd like that. More of that would be cool. But like
you're splitting your screen?
Well, no. So like because of the glasses, the way it displayed one image, you would see your whole screen
Oh, I
as a
see.
game. And then the person that didn't have I don't think they had glasses, or maybe they had another pair, but it was keyed differently. They would see a totally different image.
I
And
mean,
like,
why do you even need a screen?
I mean, at that point, if you've got the glasses on your face, why not have just glass projecting right into your face?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it'd be
I
cool.
see what you're saying. So it's like the Google glasses that they're wearing, and then they were able to, everybody is able to kind of see. But I still go back to, if you have the capability to do that, and then you have the capability to have you wouldn't need a TV screen.
Yeah,
Right?
you just
Like,
strap your thing in.
yeah, everybody, or even if the glasses themselves are like, they had the capability to go from like, like dark with glass with like, I would imagine, since you can probably do a scenario where you have, let's say that the thing that's in front of you, like whatever information you have, is at a certain opacity, so that you can still see what's in front of you, but you
Yeah.
can also see like what's going, like what's scrolling across, right? So you're not like you're not going to walk into something, hopefully, because you can see that tree in front of you, but there's also stuff going across your
Yeah,
screen.
you're doom scrolling TikTok while you're walking around and just
Yeah, right. Well, but I'm sure that may become a problem, but I think you could probably control the ability for the glasses to be able to have
yeah.
a scenario where all
Oh,
you see is like whatever, you're looking at on your screen, right? And so whatever's behind it, whatever's in real life in front of you, you're not really seeing it, right? So there's going to be a
that's scary.
scenario where you would have, like, they may have, well, we already have like laws that prevent you from being distracted while you're
Yeah.
driving,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So that I could see a scenario where if people like have their glasses, they're wearing Google glasses, and they're driving, that they're only allowed to have whatever's on them, at a certain opacity. Because if it's too much,
Oh, like, yeah, like tinted windows, because if it's too much, you're not going to see what you're driving. Oh,
yeah,
that's interesting.
right,
I mean, yeah, because let's be honest, there'd be so many car crashes. At the same time, with that technology, could you imagine, Keith? You just, you sit down to your office desk there, put your glasses on, take your Wacom tablet out, and you're just like,
yep.
just staring off. Well, not staring off, you're in, but like, that'd be
Or
interesting.
you're drawing, like, so people be walking by me, and they're like, and I'd be like,
Just right in the air. Oh my god, that'd be cool.
yeah, that's pretty much what I'd be doing. And then I'd be turning it, I'd be making it, like, and then somebody would like go across, like, hey man, you just walked across my, now here's how. And then of course you're going to have, like, in Law and Order SVU, where somebody like hacks somebody's glasses so that they're walking, thinking that they're walking across a sidewalk, but there's really a hole there, like a manhole, and they go fall into it, right? Like that kind of, aspect of, like, virtual reality,
Oh.
where you think you're, it's you. How many stories have we heard of somebody who's like recording something, a cliffside somewhere, and
Mm-hmm.
falling off, right? Because you're not paying attention
Yeah,
to what's
you're
happening,
here, not
right?
there.
So once
Oh.
you get those glasses, people are going to be like, especially if they don't, young people are probably getting used to, like, or just into what they're doing in game,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden they get hit by a car because they don't realize that
Oh.
they thought that they can see, but they didn't really see, right? Who knows?
Yeah. Oh
Right?
god, the nightmares that can happen, Keith.
Yeah. And again, if you get hacked, like, if somehow somebody can hack to make it so that, you're all of a sudden driving, and then everything becomes like, fully,
Mm-hmm.
100%, or it's zero opacity, and people, you get so used to something, nobody would think to rip the glasses off as you're driving to see. They'd be
Yeah,
like,
you
oh
just
my god, what
on,
do
you're
I do, what do
comfortable.
I do, right?
Oh.
Or it starts to film whatever's around you, and puts it on a loop, and so you think you're driving, but it's really
Oh
from like
god,
10
you're
seconds
watching the
ago.
security loop. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's like nightmare stuff
yeah.
right there,
I
Keith.
mean, there's stories there. You can tell stories, figure out, like, like how to do like a cool horror or thriller using somebody dying from glasses or something like that.
Black Mirror is gonna. If someone from Black Mirror sees a clip of this, they're gonna jump all over that.
Yeah, you're like, well, yeah. If I don't think they've done anything like that where the person wearing the glasses have been hacked, and they've done things like it, but like
similar VR kind of augmented reality stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, brutal. Interesting. Well, Keith, we've got like 9 minutes left. You quickly mentioned that you had a new book out that you were sort of going to the book shows for. Tell us about your books, my guy.
So I've got the newest issue of Saltwater out, which is issue number 6. And that's kind of answers a lot of the questions we posed in issue number 1. It's a really cool, to your point of like horror, I think it really amps it up a bit.
Yes.
Then we've got the Summer on the Swing Ash Can, which is more of like a whet your appetite for the graphic prose book that's going to be coming out hopefully sometime next year.
Amazing.
And then there's Cushion County, which is Sarah Furlong and I. It's a story she wrote, and then we kind of adapted it into what's going to be a graphic novel. But we're still not sure exactly how we're going to get it out there. So it may even just be in installments. It may. It works in that way where you can like break it up by like a couple of chapters.
Right on.
And then just, eventually get it in installments and then we'll have it as a graphic novel years down the line, I guess. But, and so you've seen some of the art from Cushion County. And we actually did pretty well. It seemed to sell well at Telling Tales. So hopefully it means that, there's a life for it, right? So and then this thing here is a story that Howard Wong and I are working on, and I've been between I'm currently working on the next issue of Donnybrook, so I'm trying to like throw in whenever I can like a chance to do like a page so that I can have Reponaut, which is the name of the book.
Reponaut.
Yeah,
cool.
Reponaut.
All right.
It's going to be hopefully out sometime next year.
Awesome, Keith. You are absolutely cooking it. That's wicked. And from a post I saw, this was a little while back, but not since our last episode. You got to hang out in person, I believe, with your associate from Mika Kika that you do Donnybrook with.
Kika Mika with Saltwater?
Sorry, yes. My apologies. Mix them up.
Yeah, Kika Mika with Mitch and I were in. We were in Portland, Oregon. Have we not seen each other since that?
I don't think so. But yeah, I saw that you guys were able to get together physically, which was awesome.
Yeah, we did Rose City, our annual show in Portland, Oregon, which is very safe and not at all chaotic like it's been portrayed. It was very, very nice.
Oh, okay.
And so that's our annual get together, and I did a bunch of commissions, and Mitch and I talked about the future of Kika Mika Comics. So I guess if I haven't talked about it, I can talk about it now. We're going to be doing a graphic novel, essentially collected edition of Concrete Martians, our first story that we had worked on, which is based off of the real events of this town believing Martians were attacking during the War of the Worlds radio broadcast of 1938. So initially, we had gotten 2 issues printed through Kickstarter. It was Indiegogo, and I did a bunch of art for that. And anyway, we had always talked about collecting the 2 books because we've sold out. So collecting the 2 books, adding the art, adding like there's like a short story we're going to add in there, and
Oh,
then
cool.
like some of the script and some of the history of like how the story came to be, which is really interesting. So it would have been like a nice, I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe like a 70 something page little graphic novel. But when I started going through all of my files, which I had off my computer for years, so I didn't even know if they worked.
Oh.
So I put them back on my computer, and there's a lot more than I realized. We had actually done an ash can of the first issue, like
Oh, right
maybe
on.
like 2 or 3 years prior to, so like 15 years ago, we did an ash can, and I redrew it for the actual comic book. So the ash can is completely different art. It's like the first 10 or
Oh.
12 pages, completely different art. You can see it has like we put it together and printed it, and it's got lettering and stuff. So there's an actual 12 pages of the original first issue with different art. So that's something that we'll put in there too. And then I had done like a more Martian stuff than I realized. So there's an extra like 20 pages of stuff that we can put in there. So
Oh.
now it's going to be like probably closer to like 90 to 100 pages of like you know the roughly 50 something page story with the history of how it came to be, and then some of the process, and then some of the
Mhm.
an art gallery, and then the ash can, and then like some script. So we're there's a lot that we'll be putting
That's
into it.
so
So we
cool.
just yeah. So I just have to find time after either between projects or after I finish up with Somewhere on the Swing to put it all together, and then we're gonna get it printed, and we have to figure out what that looks like with the you know whether it's going to be embossed or all that kind of stuff. So
Ooh.
yeah,
Right on. I mean, that's super cool.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I look forward to that. That is so cool. Um, then yeah, I mean, I guess my last sort of question for you then, Keith, just to wrap it up. Um, we are in, oh God, what's the date? Conrad? October 9th.
Hmm.
So in the next 3 months, are you doing any other shows? Are you sort of winding down for the year? Is anything else coming up if people wanted to catch you?
Yeah, so I've got Wayside Comics October 25th, I believe, which is like a week and a half from now. It's a
Yeah.
Saturday, I believe. So I'm doing that. I don't know if there's anybody else. It's one of his indie spotlights. So I have no
Oh,
idea who's
cool.
with it, who's like if it's just me or if it's going to be other creators. So I'll find out along with everybody else, I guess, when he posts it. So it's Wayside Comics and Cocktails in Newmarket. Then I've
Wonderful
got
spot.
MCX in mid-November, like the 15th, I think. Uh,
That's Mississauga, right?
yeah. So,
Yay!
and I just got word that I'm going to be doing one of the sketch battles. So, I'll be yeah. I'm back. I did that last year. It was a lot of fun. So I'll be doing it again this year. So that's this. I want to say it's November 15th or 16th. It's another Saturday. And then also I'm back with Comic One Books for my annual like holiday signing that I do. I think that's December 14th or 15th. Then it's on my. You can go to my Facebook. I've got my tour uh,
Yes.
dates on there, so you can see where I'm going to be. And then yes, after that, I don't have any shows booked yet. So it could change. In the next couple months, I may find out if I get into any shows. But right now, I don't. There's nothing on the books for me into next year. So,
Yet.
but yeah, exactly. But we'll see. Hopefully, some of the shows I've applied to as a guest, I'll get into those, and then I'll start talking about that soon. And then,
Love it.
I'm sure I'll try to. I've got a couple of like maybe doing like workshops and stuff like that, and also go back to do Word on the Street or something. Some of those types of shows, maybe TCAF again, right? So
Yeah. I mean, that's fantastic, Keith. You are Absolutely, such a hardworking man. I love it. Um, as always, we've hit our hour. You've drawn an amazing piece, shared some amazing knowledge. Keith, thanks so much for taking the time and hanging out with me tonight.
Yeah, I always enjoy it, man.
Thank you. And to the folks out there in YouTube land, uh, absolutely comment down below what you thought of the stream, any opinions, thoughts, or whatever you had on what we talked about today. Subscribe for more. And then absolutely jump over, check out Keith's work, get some of his books, see his schedule, go meet him in person, uh, all over Southern Ontario, basically. And yeah, I suppose we'll